Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Today we are going to start another topic, that is syntax. Fine. We have discussed some branches of phonetics and some branches of linguistics. Like we have talked about morphology. Fine. We have talked about semantics, pragmatics, historical linguistics. Fine. Apart from this, Sir Asif Saab is teaching you phonetics and phonology. Fine. So these are the various branches of linguistics, and one of the branches of linguistics is syntax, and that is what we are going to discuss today. Fine. So first of all, what is meant by syntax? So let me turn off the microphone. Okay, good. So what is syntax? Syntax is a branch of linguistics. As I told you that there are several branches of linguistics. Fine. I have been telling you these things since the very first day of this semester. Fine. So it is the branch of linguistics that is concerned with the study of the structure and formation of sentences. Fine. If you recall, morphology, that is the study of the structure and form of morphemes, words. Fine. Similarly, semantics is the study of meaning. Pragmatics is the study of language in use. Fine, the study of the intended meaning of the speaker. In the same way, syntax is this. It is the study of the structure and formation of sentences. Okay, that how are sentences formulated, how are sentences structured. Okay, it explains how words and phrases are arranged to form correct sentences, grammatically correct sentences. Okay, so like it is simply concerned with the grammatical arrangement of words in correct sentences. That is what syntax is all about. Okay, if we look at the terminology, the word syntax, it has basically come from the Greek word syntaxis. Okay, and the literal meaning of the word syntaxis in the Greek language is putting together. Fine, or arrangement. When we put together things and when we arrange things, that is what the Greek people call syntaxis. Fine. So now the word syntax has actually come from the Greek word syntaxis, and it means arranging or putting together. So what do we study in syntax? In syntax, we study that how are words and phrases put together to formulate grammatically correct sentences and correct utterances. Fine. So that is the basic concern of syntax. Uh, if you look at these examples, for a few examples, there are phrases. Okay, in Pakistan, he is staying in Pakistan nowadays, for example. Okay, in London, in Peshawar. Fine. These are correct grammatical structures because we have this is what we call prepositional phrase. Okay, the phrases, various kind of phrases we'll be talking about in this session, inshallah. Fine, in this branch of linguistic syntax. If you look at Pakistan, so we have got a preposition here. In is a preposition. Fine, and Pakistan is a noun. Fine. So it is noun, a proper noun. Okay. So a prepositional phrase may consist of a preposition and a proper noun. Fine. So this is what we call this is grammatically correct syntactically because it consists, it conforms to the rule. In the same way, a prepositional phrase may consist of a preposition in a proper noun. Fine. This is a noun phrase, simply you may say. Noun is a noun phrase. Fine. But it consists of a proper noun. Fine. Similarly, we have in Peshawar. These are correct structures, grammatically correct structures, syntactically correct structures. Now, if we look at this, in Rome, here we have a preposition. Fine. But if we look at the noun phrase, fine, the noun phrase consists of a common noun only, and it is grammatically incorrect. Fine. A noun phrase can either have, you know, a proper noun A noun phrase may either consist of a proper noun, fine. It may consist of a pronoun, for example, he or she, okay, and it may consist of a determiner, det, the short form is determiner, or article, the short form is art, fine. Determiner or article, both are the same, fine. Now a noun phrase may consist of an article or a determiner plus common noun. For example, article determiners, we have got two types of article, a or an indefinite article, and the the definite article, fine. So we can either have in a room, in the room, fine. But if we say in room, this is grammatically incorrect, syntactically this is incorrect, fine. Similarly, we can say in the cupboard or in a cupboard, but we cannot say in cupboard because the determiner, the article is missing here, so it is grammatically incorrect. In the same way, in the water, fine. So if I say in water, that is grammatically incorrect, clear? So these are just examples. We will be discussing all these examples in detail, but I just want to provide you a brief overview of correctness and incorrectness of grammatical structures, fine. So what this, now if we look at this, in the room, in a cupboard, fine, on that table, they are grammatically correct sentences because they conform to the rules, they follow the rules of the English syntax, the English grammar, fine. So what is syntax all about? Syntax is all about such sort of structures, okay, that the arrangement of words, that how are words arranged properly and accurately to formulate grammatically correct utterances. This is what we study in the field of syntax, fine. Now when we talk about syntax, so there is a term which we have to discuss known as generative grammar, and the idea of generative grammar is proposed by Noam Chomsky and then his students as well, okay. During the uh, uh, people call it the linguistic war, fine, or the grammatical war, but it is known as the linguistic war, somewhere between 1965 and yeah, in the 1960s and 70s, okay. There were multiple people and multiple linguists, and they had different opinions about grammar, about syntax, fine. One of those groups was Noam Chomsky and his students. Actually, there were people who were who did not agree with Noam Chomsky, and a kind of linguistic war started between the people. Like ideological war was there. Similarly, like they did not agree with the ideas of one another, the ideas in the field of linguistics, fine, grammar particularly. So this idea was the generative grammar. It was proposed by Noam Chomsky, fine. You may say the father of modern linguistics, okay, a very prominent figure in the field of linguistics. Now, generative grammar, a language, according to generative grammar, a language consists of a small and finite or limited set of rules. Fine. But that set of rule is capable of producing a large and potentially infinite, I mean, unlimited number of well-formed structures. Let's exemplify the statement in order to make it clear. Look at this example. A prepositional phrase consists of a preposition and a noun phrase. Fine. Now, a noun phrase can either be a proper noun. Fine. A noun phrase can either be a pronoun. Sorry, PRO for pronoun. Fine. It can either be a proper noun or a pronoun, or it can be a determiner, which you people call article, fine. Determiner plus noun, common noun, fine. Now this is a simple rule that a noun, a prepositional phrase consists of a preposition and a proper noun. Now a proper noun can be, sorry, a noun phrase, a preposition and noun phrase. This is what we call prepositional phrase, fine. Now if we look at this proposition, a noun phrase can either be proper noun, it can either be pronoun or determiner in noun. This is a very simple rule, and okay, we can rule this one single rule to formulate an infinite number of utterances, unlimited number of utterances. For example, we have preposition here, okay, and then in the noun phrase, for example, we take the rule of proper noun. Fine. So I will we may formulate as many utterances as we want. How? In, for preposition we have in, fine, London, in Islamabad, fine, from Karachi to Peshawar. Okay, we have got, you know, hundreds and thousands of, you know, proper nouns in the world, names of places, names of people, fine. So names of object. So we can formulate unlimited number of examples utterances based on this single rule. Okay, preposition plus proper noun. Okay, so in the same way, if we look at this one, the second one, determiner plus noun, preposition and determiner plus noun. So preposition, for example, in, then determiner the, fine, and noun, for example, cupboard, in the cupboard, on the table, in the room, behind the wall. So behind, in, on, all these are prepositions, then the determiner, definite article the, and then a common noun. So we can utilize this one single rule to formulate hundreds and thousands of utterances. Fine. And this is a concern of generative grammar. According to generative grammar, there a language consists of, for example, the English language, a language consists of a small and finite, means a limited set of rules, fine, but that limited set of rules can be, or that rule, that set of limited rules can be utilized to formulate hundreds and thousands and unlimited number of grammatically correct structures, grammatically correct utterances. That is what Noam Chomsky calls generative grammar. Fine. Why is it called generative grammar? Because it is capable of generating sentences. Okay, just as I give you this example, so this one single structure can generate unlimited number of sentences and unlimited number of well-formed grammatical structures. Fine. Since it generates new sentences, that is why it is generative in nature. Clear so far? G. Is it clear? Are you people there with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay, good,
yes, sir.
good, good.
Yes, sir.
Now, in syntax, we talk about two types of structure, the structures of a sentence. A sentence has got two structures. Okay, the first one is called the, okay, I said that plan, good, fine, good. So we have got two structures associated with a single sentence. Okay, the first sentence is, first structure is deep structure, while the second structure is the surface structure. Fine. Now what is surface structure? Surface structure is the outward or superficial form of a sentence, like the form of a sentence which we can see. Okay, the superficial structure, the obvious structure. Okay, the words and sounds of a sentence, like the visual representation of a sentence. Fine, that is what we call the surface structure. Then we have the second structure, that is the deep structure. So the deep structure is the underlying level of a sentence, the underlying structure. Fine. I'm coming to these definitional considerations, but let me provide you some examples first of all, then we will come to these structures, deep structure and surface structure. Fine. Look at this, these different utterances, different grammatical structures. Ali ate the mango. The mango was eaten by Ali. Did Ali eat the mango? Was the mango eaten by Ali? Fine. Now, if you look at these two utterances, for example, one is active, Ali ate the mango. This is what you call active passive voice. You must be familiar with these terms. Fine. This is active structure, Ali ate the mango. On the other hand, the mango was eaten by Ali. This is piece of structure. Fine. So apparently, superficially, visibly, these two structures are different from each other. Okay. But if we look at the deep meaning, the deep structure, Ali ate the mango was eaten by Ali, fine. So it means there is a mango, there is a person who has eaten the mango, fine. And what has been done to the mango, the mango has been eaten, okay. And the tense is a past simple tense, fine. So the deep structure is that there was a mango and the mango was eaten, and who ate the mango? Ali ate the mango. So the meaningful structure, the you know the structure associated with the meaning of the utterance, that is called the deep structure. While these two structures which we can see here, the obvious, which is visible to us, obvious to us in the form of words, these grammatical structures are called the superficial structures. Okay, now let's move to the definitions. Grammatical surface structure is the outward or the superficial form of a sentence. Like these two superficial forms, the forms which we can see in the form of sentences, form number one, form number two, these are the surface
Sir,
structures. Okay. And if you look at the underlying structure, the deep structure, so the underlining structure, that is the deep structure is the underlining structure, or that is the abstract structure, the abstract level of a sentence, where the basic components of interpretation can be represented, where the meaning is represented simply. Fine. Now, this definition has been given by Oxford Dictionary of English Grammar. Fine. According to this definition, deep and surface structures are often used as terms and a simple binary opposition. Simple binary opposition means there is a binary between them, like a clear cut line between them. On the one hand, we have the surface structure, and on the other hand, we have the deep structure. Fine. Now, with the deep structure representing meaning, like simply deep structure is, though some people disagree with this point, if someone says that it is related to the meaning only, semantic meaning, fine. Some people disagree with them, but still for your level, you may say that deep structure represents the meaning of an utterance, the meaning of a sentence, fine. And the surface structure being the actual sentence we see. So the sentence which we see, like here, we can see this active structure and we can see this passive structure, fine. These are the surface structures of this one single sentence. Sentence is the same, the surface structures are different, fine. But if you look at the deep structure, the meaning, so meaning is the same. So deep structure is one, there was a mango, it was eaten, fine. By whom was it eaten? By Ali, fine. So there was a person who did something, that he performed the action of eating, and what did he eat? He ate the mango. So this is the meaningful structure, its meaning, that is the deep structure. While if you look at the surface structure, so the sentence structure which we can see, like we have active structure and we have passive structure. So these two structures are called, the surface structures of this utterance. In the same way, if you look at all these four structures, okay, so the deep structure is the same, the meaning is the same, fine. But the surface structures, the superficial structures of all these sentences, that is one single meaningful structure. So the deep structure is again that there was a mango and it was eaten by Ali, fine. That is the deep structure. While the superficial structure, we have got four different surface structures for this one single underlying structure. Clear so far?
yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, uh, sometimes we may come across structural ambiguity. Fine. Ambiguity means confusion. When something is not clear, we say that the thing is ambiguous. Okay. So ambiguity means unclarity. Unclarity. When something is not clear, when something is confusing, we say that that thing is ambiguous. Okay. So structural ambiguity means structural confusion. What is meant by structural confusion? When a single surface structure has got more than one deep structure. Fine. Simply when there is one single structure, one single grammatical sentence, and that has got multiple deep structures, such situation is called structural ambiguity. Fine. Structural confusion, but the technical term is structural ambiguity. How? Let me explain the simplest example among these, then I'll explain all of them. Okay, fine. I killed a dog in my pajama. What is meant by this? I killed a dog in my pajama. Anyone?
Sir, I killed a dog in my foot.
Fine. Okay, anyone else? Okay.
So so so
Gigi. G.
so it is confusion. So you can say, sir, ambiguity confusion. Or
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Uh, there are two deep structures associated with this one single surface structure. Two structures are: number one, I killed a dog in my pajama. The dog which was inside my pajama. Fine, I killed the dog which was in my pajama, so I killed that. Okay. On the other hand, I killed a dog in my pajama. It means when I was wearing my pajama, I killed a dog. Fine, the dog might be somewhere in the ground or anywhere, not in my pajama, but I killed the dog while I was wearing my pajama. Now look at this one. I saw a dog chasing the postman. Fine. I saw a dog. I saw a dog, and the dog was chasing the postman. Fine. The dog was running after the postman. Fine. So I saw a dog chasing the postman. Deep structure number one. Okay. The dog was chasing the postman, like the dog was running after the postman. On the other hand, like the second deep structure is, I saw a dog chasing the postman. I saw a dog while I was chasing the postman. Fine. When I was chasing the postman, I saw a dog. Fine. Or in another one, I saw a dog that was chasing the postman. It means it has got two meanings, two deep structures, two underlining structures. In the first structure, I saw a dog which was chasing the postman. In this deep structure, the dog was chasing the postman. Fine. The dog was running after the postman. In the second deep structure, I saw a dog chasing the postman. I was running after the postman. Okay. When I was running after the postman, I saw the dog. Okay. I saw a dog. So in the first structure, the dog is running after the postman. In the second deep structure, I was running after the postman. So this single utterance has got two multiple deep structures, and there is structural ambiguity here. Fine. Look at this one. I saw a man with a telescope. Fine. I saw a man with a telescope. Fine. Like I saw a notebook with a red color, with a red cover. I saw a notebook with a red cover, for example. Fine. So I saw a man with a telescope. Like I saw a man, and that man was having a telescope in his hand. Fine. On the other hand, I saw a man with a telescope. It means I saw a man. How did I see the man? By using a telescope. So I was having a telescope in my hand, and I was, looking into that telescope, and with the help of that telescope I saw a man. Fine. So two deep structures are there, different deep structures. In the first deep structure, the man was having a telescope and I saw the man. Fine. In the second deep structure, I was having a telescope, and using the telescope I saw the man. Fine. Now I hit a man with an umbrella. Now I hit a diary with an with a plastic cover. Fine. I hit a diary with a plastic cover. Fine. It means the diary was having a plastic color. In the same way, I hit a man I hit a man with an umbrella, it means I hit a man with an umbrella means that there was a person, a man who was having an umbrella, fine, and I hit that man. Okay. On the other hand, I hit a man. Fine. How did I hit the man? I hit the man by using an umbrella. I had an umbrella in my hand. I hit that man. So it means there is again structural ambiguity here. Fine. Let me switch to. Can you allow me to switch to Urdu for a minute? Fine. In order to further explain these things, मैंने एक डॉग को देखा जो कि पोस्टमैन के पीछे भाग रहा था. फाइन. और मैं जब पोस्टमैन के पीछे भाग रहा था तो मैंने एक डॉग को देखा. फाइन. मैंने अब जब मैंने पजामा पहना था तो मैंने डॉग को मारा. मैंने एक डॉग को मारा जो कि मेरे पजामे के अंदर था. फाइन. मैंने टेलीस्कोप के जरिए एक आदमी को देखा और मैंने एक आदमी को देखा जिसके पास टेलीस्कोप था. मैंने टेलीस्कोप के साथ एक आदमी को देखा. फाइन. मैंने एक आदमी को मारा जिसके पास अम्ब्रेला था. मैंने अम्ब्रेले वाले आदमी को मारा. ऑन द अदर हैंड मैंने एक आदमी को अम्ब्रेला के साथ मार दिया. फाइन. सो this is what we call structural ambiguity, that when one single utterance is called has got one single surface structure has got multiple deep structures. Fine. And it leads to a confusion. That confusion is called structural ambiguity. Fine. Now uh, how to explore structural ambiguity? How can we come to know about such sort of structural ambiguity, and how can we resolve such issues? We can resolve such issues with the help of tree diagram. Fine. What is a tree diagram? Let's talk about tree diagram in detail. Fine. Uh, okay. Can you see this tree?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
This is the tree, but it is an upside down tree. Upside down means that its upper part, it is down here. Fine. And its lowest part, the roots, they are right here on the top. That is why it is called upside down tree. Fine. Now we have roots here. Then we have the main stem. Find the trunk. Then we have branches. Okay. Then we may have sub branches, and finally we have here the leaves or the flowers or the roses. Okay. uh, Here we have words. Words are the roses or the leaves, you may say. Fine. Then we have syntactic categories, like the words can either be, they can be nouns, they can be pronouns, they can be adverbs, they can be adjectives. Okay. Syntactic categories means grammatical categories, means parts of speech simply. Fine. Then we have phrases. As I told you over there, that a noun phrase consists of a preposition and a proper noun. Fine. So we have a phrase. Then we have phrases. Fine. Again. And we have sentence. So here we have a sentence. Clear? The short form for sentence is S. Inside a sentence we have got phrases. For example, noun phrase. Okay. And here we have a verb phrase. Fine. Then inside this noun phrase, we can have noun simply, or we can have pronoun, or we can have article plus noun. Article plus noun mean, for example, the boy. Fine. Here verb phrase. So here we may have a verb. For example, the boy ate. So this is verb. And we have the mango. So the mango is again a noun phrase because it consists of the. The again is an article. Fine. And mango is noun. So this is what this is the basic structure of a sentence is like an upside down tree. Here we have the root, the sentence, then we have phrases. Fine. Then we have sub phrases can be there, like here we have noun phrase. Fine. Sub phrases. Then syntactic categories, like here we have article, here we have article, here we have noun. Fine. And then we have words. Words are the boy, fine, ate, the mango. These are words. So this is the basic concept of a tree diagram. Now let's discuss tree diagram in detail. Okay, we have here we have a sentence, fine, and inside this sentence we have got a noun phrase and we have got a verb phrase, fine. A noun phrase consists of, as I told you, either a proper noun. For example, instead of the students, we may say um, Ahmad, for example. Ahmad. Okay, so Ahmad is a proper noun. So then inside this noun phrase, we have a proper noun only. Fine, proper noun. We can have pronoun. For example, if I write instead of the students, if I write they, okay, Thay. So here I have got pronoun only inside the noun phrase. Pronoun. Fine, but inside this phrase, as I told you earlier, that we can have an article, or which we call determiner in syntax, fine, an article plus a common noun like a cupboard, as I give you that example, fine. So if you look at the is an article and student is a noun, so we have here we have a noun phrase. Okay, so inside a sentence we have a noun phrase and we have a verb phrase. A verb phrase may consist of a verb simply, or a verb plus a noun phrase. Okay, so this is what we call this is what, you know, the tree diagram for a sentence looks like. Let's go to detailed tree diagrams, fine. Here the sentence is I like Pishar. I like Pishar. Fine. So we have a sentence here. Inside a sentence, we have got a noun phrase. Fine, and we have got a verb phrase. Keep in mind, in a clause, inside a clause, we have got a noun phrase and a verb phrase. Fine. Now inside a noun phrase, as I told you, we can either have a pronoun, we can have a proper noun, or we can have an article plus noun. Fine. So here we have pronoun only, then we have inside the verb phrase. Now keep in mind, a verb phrase further consists of a verb and a noun phrase. Fine. So I like is a verb. Fine. And Pishar is a proper noun. Proper noun. Sorry, no, this is a noun phrase. Fine, proper noun. Now, a noun phrase may consist of. Let me repeat once more that a noun phrase may consist of uh, a pronoun like I like them. It can be a pronoun instead of Peshawar. Fine. Then we can have a determiner plus common noun determiner. For example, here we may have in a noun phrase, we may have the city. Fine, city. So that is a determiner and it is a common noun. Fine, and we can have a proper noun as well. So either a pronoun or a determiner plus noun or a proper noun. These can be the possible structures of a noun phrase. So inside a verb phrase we have usually a noun, a verb, and a noun phrase. Fine. I like Peshawar. Now how do we formulate this tree diagram? We start with the bottom. Fine. I like, fine, I like Peshawar. So how do we draw it? We write this is proper noun. Fine. Let me change the color. Okay, fine. Look at this. We have, this is noun phrase, Pishar. Fine. And this is a verb. I like. So like is a verb. Now this noun phrase and this verb combinedly they constitute a verb phrase. Fine. Here we have I, which is itself a noun phrase. Fine. So this noun phrase and this verb phrase, they combinedly constitute a sentence. Okay, so this is how we draw a T diagram for a sentence. Now look at another example. John found the ladder. Fine. John found the ladder. So we start with the very last word. Keep in mind, while drawing a tree diagram, we must start with the last line of the clause, the last line of the sentence. Fine. So first of all, we draw a line like this. Later is a noun, okay, and the is a determiner, the article, okay. So the noun and the determiner combinedly they formulate a noun phrase. As I told you that inside a noun phrase we can have a determiner and a noun, or a pronoun simply, or a proper noun. So in this case we have the determiner and the noun, okay. So noun and determiner, here we have the noun phrase. Then uh, this is what we call v stands for verb. So a noun phrase and a verb constitute a verb phrase. Fine. Then we have John here. John is a proper noun and it is the noun phrase, okay. So a noun phrase and a verb phrase combinedly constitute a sentence. Clear? So how do we draw this diagram? We draw it like this. For instead of John, for example, if I uh, take the example of Inam, okay, the CR, Inam, uh, Inam ate, fine, Inam ate the mango, okay, Inam ate